Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's scheduled Lady Arcaders Showcase. The game in focus today is called Chiptune 101 and will be accompanied by showrunner BunniestBunRena with Firesplitter and me, mikaberry, on comms. Stay tuned for this super unique showcase, a magical 8-bit wonder, because we have a few hours to show you this special treat. Are you ready for it to start? Because we're about to.
Hello, I think it's my time to speak, if I am not, incorrect. Hello, everyone! It's time, finally, after all these years. I'm not playing a shmup. Whoa! Oh my gosh! You would have forgot, I know. It's crazy, I do things that aren't shoot 'em ups. I know.
So lovely to have you today.
Of course. Of course. I always love to be here. Admittedly, it was a bit of a scramble. I just got back from Thanksgiving break, a whole state away, about an hour ago, maybe.
Yes, I can't wait to get into it, honestly. Can I just let the chat know a little bit about Lady Arcaders, introduce us, and we can all just settle into what you have for us today?
Go right ahead.
Amazing. For all who are here, thank you for coming. We have something special for you today. To let you know, Lady Arcaders is an all gaming collective, all women's gaming collective, sorry. So Lady Arcaders welcomes all women in gaming, anyone of marginalized genders, speedrunners, developers, casual fans, all are welcome here. So today I'm introducing BunniestBunRena and Firesplitter. Firesplitter, do you want to say hi? Say anything you want to say to chat?
Hello, everyone. If there's anything I want to say, I hope you're all gonna enjoy this showcase by Rena today
Yay!
as much as we are going to do enjoying it here. And if you have any questions,
Let us know. We're so excited. Rena, do you want to start us off? Tell us about the game. Why did you pick it? Some history. You're the professor, right? So take it over from here.
Well, it's not really a game, but, yeah!
Well, I'm so confused. Let me know. I literally tried to Google Chiptune 101, okay? I wanted to understand. I love chiptune music, but what exactly are we doing today? Let us know.
I'm coming here for you today. I'm coming up clutch to teach the wide masses about the art of making chiptune and a little bit of history. Don't worry, you couldn't escape the history lesson. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. We need it. We're ready for it.
I think everyone's like really gonna appreciate that.
Of course. Don't say draw a shmup game on stream because I unironically will. Because I have to. So we're getting a little ahead of ourselves on the drawings.
Don't
worry, we'll
challenge
get there.
her. She will do it.
Don't worry, we'll get to drawing the shmup game on stream. I will do it.
Woo-woo.
We're not there just yet, but we will be very soon. Anyways,
Lovely.
Chiptune. Yes, we're here. I think it's a good time to just start class. Well, might as well. Not too much rambling needed. Of course, I am the bunniest bun of Rena's. Though, for the rest of this showcase, I am Professor Bun, or Bodaciously Kamek, whatever you want to call me. Either works. I've been doing chiptune for I want to say 4 or 5 years now, probably a little longer, give or take. It's kind of hard to track down, but I could probably look right now if anyone wanted, but I'm too lazy to check the metadata.
You sound like a connoisseur. I'm ready to learn.
Oh,
Put
yes.
down the knowledge.
Oh, yes. One could say that. So I've been making this music for quite some time, and I kind of want to get more people into it. Show people what it's all about. And because, this is a gaming collective. We hear chiptune all the time around here. I'm sure you heard one within the past month at least. There's got to be someone that's been playing some sort of classic game.
Every single day, 24 hours a day, every single minute, chiptune. I love it.
Oh,
I know everyone in chat loves it too.
Oh, I got great news for y'all today. We're gonna be listening to some chiptune.
My goodness. I love doing that.
I'm hearing some positivity about Chiptune from the chat right now.
Perfect.
I'm most
Excellent.
excited to like learn about chiptune because it's always something I've consumed but never really connected with deeper, you know?
Oh boy, I got great news then.
Yes,
We get to jump right into the history first of all. Cause does anyone here actually know why it's called chiptune?
not at all, honestly.
Hmm,
It has to be
I
because of the like noise, maybe like it's similar to birds chirping. I don't know. That's my like guess.
Is it because of the chips in the computer, in the key
Oh,
machines? Is it because
that's
of
the
that?
one, isn't it? It's that one.
We're getting closer. We're getting kind of close. So we gotta start at the very beginning, and we're gonna start drawing the
Is
shmup.
Cat is suggesting that it is because it is best enjoyed with chips.
Yes, that made me laugh.
We're gonna start drawing the shmup here. Let's see if anyone can guess what shmup it is. Uh, before I
So, for those of us who don't know, can you maybe explain to the wider audience what a shmup might be?
shoot 'em up.
Ah,
There, there you
Is this
go.
by
Let's see if I can
can I
remember
do
how this
can
dude
I do I
looks.
guess?
please elaborate.
Let's see if I can remember how this dude looks. Got the yeah. He's got the yeah. 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 Yeah.
Can I do I
I'm
And
so curious.
this is the correct color palette because the game I'm drawing here is in fact Space Invaders, which I have not seen in a
Oh,
million years. Uh
wow.
we
I
get
should
this
have known.
we start out with Space Invaders, crazily enough. We get to start way back at the beginning of video games. Space Invaders is important because it gives us our first example of what we would typically call chiptune. There's
Yes,
this sort of yeah, we've all played Space Invaders, right?
of
Surely?
yeah.
course.
Okay, cool. We've all played Space Invaders. You know the sort of gradual like descending line that plays in the background, the dun 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 dun. Yeah. That. This
Mm.
is our first example of chiptune. It's incredibly simple, but that's where we're starting. Because you know it's the beginning of chiptune. Of course, it's gonna be simple. And
So,
yeah,
you're telling me right now that Space Invaders invented chiptune.
the way we describe it today, yeah.
Ah, so are they just really define the genre?
Repeat.
So, did they like invent or really inspire the genre? The reason that it was propelled forward? What would you say their influence was?
Oh, well, we're gonna get to that right now.
Yes,
So,
nice.
the way this game is, of course, producing music. This is back in the day when we didn't have music formatted files. That wasn't really a thing. Computers were they were kind of big, you know. These were the days when like serious computers took up rooms. Uh,
Mm,
they had they had giant boxes, and of course, having a tiny computer, relatively, in an arcade machine definitely doesn't give you any opportunities to run any sort of formatted file.
mm.
Absolutely not, no sir. So instead, for smaller computers, there is on the board of the computer a sound chip. Whether it be you know it differs between what you know what sort of board it is and who is manufacturing the chip, but there is some sort of sound chip, and what that sound chip is doing is it's taking data directly from the game. Usually there's like a separate part of coding that's just dedicated to music, and it is taking that data, interpreting it as a digital signal, and then outputting it to a speaker. And this is why we call it chiptune. Because back in ye olden days, the way that we got the music out of the video game is it would go through a chip and come out as a tune, dare I say.
Oh my goodness.
It's crazy.
That is mind blowing.
So as a result, a lot of the oldest chiptune artists are not really musicians; they're programmers. Because that's how it worked.
That's
Uh,
so cool, though.
you needed to know,
Music and gaming.
yeah, you needed to know how to program to make music happen. This is so the most authentic version of chiptune is just literally typing stuff in and then feeding it through an audio chip of some sort. Which is why a lot of modern techniques don't technically work when it comes to actually making music for like modern retro video games that actually go on the console that they're trying to emulate. Uh, Regardless of all that, I'm gonna say a lot. By the way, I hope you don't mind. It's just gonna be for a
No,
lot of
lovely.
this.
Just please remember, take a break, breathe, drink water. You're the streamer. We're here for you. So we all have all the time to listen. Just make sure
Yeah.
you pace yourself too, because don't burn out. We want to hear everything you have to say. Also, wow, the era before tiny computers. What a
Yep,
time, huh?
it's
Sounds
true.
so interesting.
So this is how this sort of arrangement would kind of continue for a while, actually. Uh, we go through the arcade days, we go through like the early console days, uh,
Yes.
until we start getting stuff like the MIDI format, which famously, as you'll know, the N64 is actually uh, pretty famous for. You can find all the sound fonts
Really?
for your favorite games. Uh,
Yay. I
and
still
make
have my Nintendo 64.
and you can make silly music on with the like the Super Mario 64 sound font. You can just make
Yes.
music with it. Uh
So many opportunities.
and Technically when this stuff happens is when actual chiptune dies. It is no longer viable. Uh
What?
it's true. Chiptune
Please explain.
dies. Chiptune dies immediately as like the standardized file format and playback become more standard and more accessible for
Ah,
consoles. Because there's no need to do
yeah.
this whole roundabout thing where you program a bunch of stuff and you feed it through a chip that has to take up space on the board, and it's a
Yeah.
whole nightmare.
Yeah.
You don't need to do this anymore because you have a standardized format to play back music. And that
Revolutionized
actually
the genre.
works. Yeah, it's way easier. You can actually just hire musicians instead of getting some weird guy who's like sits in his basement all the time. It's all good. But of course this means there's no need to do the whole chiptune thing. So it technically dies. In the meantime, though, we made a lot of strides with chiptune because we had this technology for a while. A lot of different techniques were invented. It became very popular, of course, because it was the sound of video games at the time. And let me tell you about video games in the 80s and 90s. Oh boy, were they doing all right. At least after the video game crash of the yeah, we don't the poor video game crash. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
But after Nintendo pulled that one back from the brink of destruction, we were doing well again. And we were back on track for chiptune being popular again. But then, of
Yes.
course, we gradually phased out chiptune as a method of making music for more standardized formats. It was especially killed by the time the PlayStation came out because you could just play recordings. It's a CD. No need for anything else. Just slap a file in there, go crazy.
I love the evolution that you just explained there. Like the idea of the old tech really starting all of chiptune, but to the point where it had to update itself in order to continue and survive. So it
Yeah,
became something else, but always was what it was at its core, right?
yeah, and then as file formats got better and as discs got better, we got better and better formats for playing back music. It became more streamlined. You could fit more information. And now we're here in 11/27/2022, where
Incredible.
we live in the age of audiophile headphones and all that garbage. Of course, I say garbage when I'm an active purveyor of this stuff. And chiptune is essentially a long gone memory of a bygone era that is no longer needed technically, but I like it. And so, because people liked it so much, there has been a deliberate effort to, I guess, uh, preserve the art, so to say. You no longer have to program stuff, thank God. Instead, nowadays, we use programs called trackers, which aren't much better than programming, but they work a lot better. It gives a sort of more visual format. We'll be
So,
sitting a tracker for a hot minute. Don't worry. You'll get to see the tracker soon, but we still got
oh,
some stuff to talk about.
you said it's better, but it's not better. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it really is just having a program type out the stuff for you, and you just tell what the. It's kind of like Scratch, you know? If you've ever heard of Scratch, if that makes sense to you, the like fake like programming language for kids, like you're you're just technically typing in code, but it just has a visual front end to make it make a little more sense. And even though it makes it a little more restricted, it makes it a lot easier to deal with. It's that sort of vibe. If you ever been through that. But we don't have the time to talk for Scratch. That's a lesson for another day, fellas. Oh, is it a lesson for another day?
Yes, bring
Uh,
us back, honestly, and tell us a bit more about, like, in detail, what your gripes are, what your dislikes, and what your likes are, you know? Give us more, like, how you personally relate to Chiptune too. I want to know a bit more about how you personally connected to it, you know, and what inspired you to do it for 5 years.
uh, I guess to briefly divert about that, and to keep kind of talking about trackers, the good thing about it is that they're all basically free. Nobody charges money for chip trackers because why would they? We think you're gonna make money off of your chip tracker? Oh, heck no. Not in a million years. There's only one tracker I've ever paid actual money for. It was Devil Mask, by the way. Uh, and that's like a really really well laid out program that comes with a ridiculous amount of features. That place is great. I love Devil Mask. It's fantastic. It costs like $3. These programs are not expensive at all. If you want to get into Chiptune, you can just look up the program we're gonna be using today, and you can just get it right now if you want. It's free
Incredible.
download.
So
So
you're not just here to tell us about your love and your hobby. You're telling us to get into chiptune.
now,
Straight up.
uh,
Now. Immediately.
I mean this is Chiptune 101. We'll be going over some basics.
Would you like to post a link in chat to a free resource you could
Yes.
recommend for the chat?
Show chat where
They
they can get
could.
this
Yeah.
resource.
That required me to open my browser, and I am currently recording my entire
Yes.
screen.
Don't worry.
So,
So tell me and I will send it to chat. Say
Yeah.
again.
the program we're gonna be using is Little Sound DJ. It is a very cool program, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. You'll be able to look at it soon. We gotta talk about these chips though. The chips you actually make the tunes with. You know the ones. They're kind of brick like. They have some text here. And they got all the clickable bugs. We gotta talk about the chip on the board. Now, we're only gonna be talking in very general senses. Because every chip is different. For every single board. So if you want to make chiptune on the Genesis, it's of course gonna be a little different than making chiptune on the NES or the Commodore, anything like that. It's gonna be a world of difference because they're just different chips with different functionalities and different features, yada yada yada, all that good stuff. And so yeah, chips and the
Yay.
tunes you put through them. Uh, Generally, the way these work is you have a set amount of tracks that you can feed information through, uh, usually note data of some sort, and usually between the tracks, they will have different functionalities. Uh, we won't get into any specifics until we start talking about the Game Boy in specific, because that's what we're going to be composing on. So we're going to get into that. But they usually, all the tracks usually have separate functions. There's going to be some duplicate tracks for some of the higher end chips. And of course, to think of it, each track corresponds to a single voice. A single voice in the song. So essentially, the amount of tracks you have on hand are also the amount of notes you can play at a single time. So if you got four tracks on the board, you can play 4 notes at a time. 3 tracks on the board, three notes at a time. Yada yada yada. You get the gist.
Yes.
And of course, how many tracks a board or a chip actually does have will vary from manufacturer to console to even there might even be separate versions of the console that have different chips. It's a whole thing. There's a pretty famous difference between the NES and the Famicom. The Famicom actually has an additional track available on its sound chip that the NES for some reason has disabled. Why? I honestly have no clue. It makes zero sense to me. But if anyone's ever told you to listen to like the Japanese version of like Castlevania 3's soundtrack because it's just so much better, that's why they're working with another voice. So they get to
Interesting.
do some more fun stuff with that.
Awesome. So I actually got a sneak peek at this little sound DJ that you were telling chat and everyone. It looks like a game. You said it's not a game, but it looks like a little Game Boy game.
Well, it does run
It's
on a
so
Game
cute.
Boy.
Does that make it a game? Or
Quite. I mean, it's a digital audio workstation
but
trademark.
listen, you said the history, right? It started with people making music who were programmers. Does that not make it a game? What do
I
you think? What do you think, Firesplitter?
That's actually a really, really good question. But it's part of a game at least.
Part of a game?
Yeah.
0.5 game. 0.5 music.
I see.
Is this what we're going with?
I see.
Hybrid.
Okay.
It's a hybrid.
So we're gonna start specifically talking about the Game Boy. I don't
Yeah.
have the chip name. It's actually really complicated. The way the Game Boy works, it doesn't have a traditional sound chip. I think it all goes through the motherboard, just a specific part of the motherboard. It's really weird. It goes like right through the CPU for some reason.
I
No
love
clue.
how weird this is. I want to know more.
So if you're looking for like the chip, if you're looking for the exact chip specifications and stuff, you're gonna be looking for like the Game Boy's like CPU chip. It doesn't have for some reason it doesn't have an individualized sound chip. I don't know why.
Do you think that has to do with the fact they want to keep it as small as possible
Probably.
to make it like easier to carry, and therefore they like saved in a lot, like try to build everything in a compact way?
Probably, but like, man, that's so weird. Because it functions exactly like a sound chip. Like it functions exactly identically. Or not. Nothing is going to change. The specifications between the Game Boy and the NES are really similar, actually. So, there are 4 channels on the Game Boy. This little idiot here.
Yes. We love him. Or her. Or them. You know.
I mean, Game Boy.
Game Envy.
Still thinking about those games that had Game Girl on it.
Are
Hilarious.
Yeah, I
we
remember
starting it
that.
then? We're going to publish the game Envy.
So, uh, this
Yeah.
this this little dummy over here, has
Mm-hmm.
4 channels to work with. Uh, so we'll get the drawings going. We got
Oh,
4 channels, baby.
4 channels.
Yoink. Uh, these first 2, uh, they play square waves. They only play square waves. Which we will get right into that. This 3rd channel over here has will play anything. You can even feed samples into it. So it just kind of chills. You can feed anything you want through that channel. It's great. It's fantastic. And this final channel over here doesn't work. It does not work. This is pure white noise coming through
Hmm.
this channel. That's the only thing you can put through it. Is just, or the only thing it will output is just raw white noise. You can
Okay.
shape the white noise however you want, but you're only getting white noise out of it. So square waves. These are important. They they look like squares on when you analyze them through my brain wants to say it's a stethoscope, but I know that's incorrect because that's the thing the doctors use.
What are you trying to say?
It's the instrument you measure audio waves with.
Um,
Stenograph? No. There's some people who are more knowledgeable than me than about
I'm not
that.
a music person, but is it like a sound level meter or
No, it's
something?
no, it's purely an instrument to like analyze waveforms with. Uh
Hmm.
but that instrument, whatever it may be, it's got the round green screen, you know? It's got that one. You can see the wave on it. Yeah. One of those. Square waves literally look like squares. So that's why we call them square waves. And they are very important to the history of chiptune because a lot of channels on a lot of chips can only do this. They only have the ability to do this. Because that's kind of where we were at the moment. Because, you know, back in the olden days, we were getting we were getting the signal as an interpretation from a chip as digital. So a square wave was a really easy thing for a computer to make because it's all nice and jagged. There's no weird calculations with this one. It's just a square. You should go up, down, and up and down, and it's all good. It's very easy for small computers to generate and work around. So a lot of old chips will have a lot of channels that just put out square waves because they're really easy to make.
I love how like simple, like not easy. I'm not gonna say this looks easy. It's my first time looking at it. Even I am starting to feel like, can I make chiptune music for
Yes,
myself?
you
Like
can.
that sounds nice. Like I would try it.
Join the club.
I also have to let you both know some really important information. The Lady Arcaders Paul has spoke to us, and chiptune is music, not a game. To my dismay.
Unfortunate.
But we'll take it. It's okay. It definitely has like some roots in gaming history, right? Like
Well,
that we can't ignore.
yeah, chiptune as a genre is
It's
basically
gaming.
birth from gaming.
Hmm.
There are older examples of getting sounds like this, but
Yes.
they were not popular until basically, well, video games. That's the only time they really came in clutch.
Music for gamers
Because
by
you know,
gamers.
I don't think the people working on the chess computers were really worried about playing a cute tune every time you got checkmated. They weren't worried about that at the time. They were
But
still getting to
listen,
the checkbaiting you part.
the time is now. If I wanted to play a little tune every time I beat someone in chess, I could do that now.
It's true. Technology's so cool.
Amazing.
So, yeah, square waves, very important to the sound of chiptune. Once you hear them later on, once we actually get in the tracker and start making some music, you'll immediately recognize it. But yeah, so we got these two channels. They play square waves. Specifically, I guess sort of thing. Sweep. This channel has sweep functionality, which we're not going to get into. This is Chiptune 101. We're not getting into sweep. I refuse. It's not happening. It's too complicated. But you know, for our purposes, these two channels are identical. The square wave is important. It's something to note. It will be on the test. This third channel, of course, plays samples of any kind, basically. You know, you can put whatever you want in there. This was the time when we did. By the time we had the Game Boy out, we did have some form of reproducing like actual instruments and stuff digitally, and now you can feed them through a Game Boy if you want. I know the tracker we're gonna be using actually comes with like drum samples. It's very silly.
Yay.
And this
I love
noise
silly.
channel that doesn't work. This channel it doesn't work. That's why it's a noise channel. It's broken.
It's broken or it's meant to not work.
Oh, it's broken.
Mm.
It's broke. So, you know, you can actually shape the noise that comes out of it though, which we will get into
Yes,
once
what's
we
the workaround for that?
you make percussion out of it,
Ah,
which we'll get into.
sounds fun.
And of course, each one of these channels are monophonic, if you know what that means. They can only
No.
play one note at a time.
Oh,
So you can't play chords really, because you know, if you're thinking about a chord, you know, you got three notes. You got your root. You got the third, which is the direction, and the fifth, which is there. But if we're to play a root, a third, and a fifth, oh no, that's every single channel that plays that plays like actual pitch noise. Oh no, we've ran out of things to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Uh, so, what people did to get around this, this actually happened back in ye old Commodore days. People who are making music on the Commodore 64, which leads into that whole scene, which is a whole other thing we're not going to get into because it's Chiptune 101. They only have two channels to work with that function. They only have two of them. Or I believe it's either two or three. They have three channels total. It's a wasteland over the Commodore. Very iconic sound. But you have no room to work in. It is suffocating. It's awful. I love it.
iconic sound in the wasteland. What is happening?
Yeah. This chip, I'm gonna be real. The Commodore chip, when it comes to actually making the music, sucks.
Why
The
does it
music,
sound worse than the broken one?
well, it sounds fantastic once you get it, like, you know, once you get it doing
Hmm.
what you want it to. But the things you can
Uh,
make it do are incredibly limited.
oh,
So, what composers did back in the olden days is they said, well, okay, we can't play chords, but we kind of need them because they're very integral to all of music ever if we're to listen to the Western canon. Important. So what they did is instead of playing the chord across all the channels, they needed to find a way to play it on one channel. So the arpeggio was born. Now arpeggios have existed in music for a long time, of course. You might have heard that term if you know about music already. It's you break up a chord across notes, and so they decided to go with that. But in an effort to sort of trick your brain into hearing the chord, they would play the arpeggio as fast as possible. Because you're working with a computer, you don't have to worry about an actual performer having to play it incredibly fast. The computer can play, one note per, any time per, like, I guess, I don't want to say frame, because that doesn't seem correct. But, every time the computer can process that information, you can have it continue the arpeggio. So,
Wait, so what are we playing as fast as possible? Are we speed running now? I thought this was music, not a game.
uh, we're playing an arpeggio as fast as possible.
What is an arpeggio? If you don't mind me asking.
The arpeggio is it's like a chord, but it's like a broken up chord.
Oh, okay.
So they'd play
Interesting.
they'd play that arpeggio as fast as possible in an effort to sort of trick your brain into hearing the chord, and it doesn't work.
Oh.
You do not hear the original chord, but instead they
But
accidentally created the most iconic chiptune sound the world has ever known.
whoa.
So
Yes.
funny happy
It's a
accident.
win.
Yeah, it is a
Yes.
win. We love
Yes.
arpeggios here. They're great. I love them. They're excellent. So that was a thing that happened. It's another one of those iconic sounds. Another interesting iconic sound, which you can only play on the third channel of the Game Boy, is a sawtooth. Look at that! Look at that boy! Look at that sawtooth boy. I guess we can. Yeah, and the NES actually, this third channel doesn't play samples or anything. It just plays triangles and sawtooths, like this. Uh, but sawtooth waves and triangle waves and stuff like that. You'll never believe why they called it why they call them triangle waves. It might be because they look like triangles when you analyze them. The people naming these waveforms are surely the most creative people on the face of the planet. Sawtooth waves are a little different. They have this sort of thing going on instead of the sort of even triangles. We have this harsher tone, and you'll never believe what you'll never believe why they called this a sawtooth wave. It's so crazy, I know.
Because they discovered them while watching Saw?
No, it unfortunately no. Is because, dare I say, the waveform looks like a saw.
Oh no, it was wrong.
It's crazy, I know.
I have one simple question.
Yes.
Just so I'm aware, we're making music with waves that
Yeah,
we create, and certain patterns make like are attributed to certain sounds, and we're able to control like the patterns and how they all work together.
yeah. I mean
Customize it
yeah. I mean
somehow.
that's how all music works. I mean, when you pluck a string,
There.
it makes a different waveform. They're just not this neat
True.
and tidy.
Yes, these
You,
are organized waves. I
yeah,
can see them and process them as symbols, and that's really fun.
yeah, because they're made by an old computer that doesn't know how to make very complex waves.
But we love that computer.
We do.
Thank you for that computer.
Thank you.
giving us all of this wonderful chiptune genre, inspired gaming. Truly incredible.
Truly. But these waveforms are also pretty iconic because they're really harsh. We won't get to hear any today, but
Mm.
if you ever hear any like really harsh sounds coming out of an NES, they're probably some form of sawtooth or triangle wave because they sound really crunchy because of this really weird wave pattern. Like, look at this thing. It's kind of gross. It's kind of stinky.
Thanky.
A little bit. It's really harsh. These sudden jumps. It's not fun. But I love them all the same. And the triangle waves are a little less grating on the ears, just a little bit. And of course the noise
Wow.
is. Yep.
Can I take a moment just to highlight a comment in chat?
Yes.
P. Cole says, I think square waves should be named Jeremy and sawtooth waves should be named Greg and triangle waves should be named Arthur. What do you think?
Second.
Someone else says, my takeaway from this so far is sawtooth equals stinky. Sorry, Greg equals stinky. Uh-oh, stinky.
There we go. Greg wave.
Yay. I love these waves. I love the names we've created for these names. We're getting personal with these waves, getting to know Chiptune a little closer. I love it.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
great. It's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's take one more moment. I just want to ask Firesplitter, like, how are you feeling this whole stream, by the way? Are you super interested in chiptune as well? Like, what are your favorite artists? Can we talk about kind of like you said, there aren't quite artists, right? Because all of them are maybe just dudes in a basement, but it's not the same anymore, right? People are able to make chiptune out of anything now. It's
now,
free.
yeah,
Right?
nowadays it's a
So
little
what-
more chill.
Yeah, so what kind of artists are showing up in today's age? Like, is that something you're going to talk about later on stream?
Yes. By the way, it's me.
Amazing.
Me. I'm showing up.
Yes, of course. You're here. And we
Uh,
want to hear your music. That's what the most exciting part of the stream, I think, will be. So
Oh, don't
I'm
worry.
super down
We'll get there.
and ready.
We'll get
So
to some
ready.
examples.
Yes. But continue. Thank you for taking the time to really explain and break it down because personally, I've always enjoyed the genre, right? But seeing it from this perspective, it's a whole new experience, like learning what actually goes into it and how deep it is. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I'm here for. We're here to teach the basics. It's Chiptune 101, baby.
Incredible.
I'm going to assume some level of basic borderline music knowledge. By the way, just a little
We're
bit.
here for it.
I don't have time to
I'm
do
so
music
down.
theory 101 as well. I'm going through that class right now.
No,
It's
that's absolutely
Don't worry.
understandable.
We're here for Chiptune 101.
Yeah.
perfect.
That's what we want.
But yeah,
Keep it coming. Yes.
you know, let me just, yeah.
So
Our
funny shapes. That's where we were, right?
funny shapes of waves. Though we're quickly moving on because we're running out of shapes to talk about. We talk about arpeggios. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the sort of basic sounds that you'll get out of chiptune. The ones you're probably really familiar with. And once we get to the examples, you'll recognize them immediately once I point them out. But here's the basic vibe of the Game Boy chip. Here's what it looks like deep down in the core of its heart, what it believes to be true. This is what the Game Boy chip is really doing in there. Or at least the chip that the Game Boy uses for music, at least. This is what's going on inside and what you're going to be working with if you make chiptune on the Game Boy. Of course, it's gonna change between chip to trip. It's gonna change. So this knowledge isn't universal. It only applies to the Game Boy. But other chips will have similar kinds of layouts. Or at least not similar in the way of always gonna be two two channels with that play square waves. Uh, but it's going to have layouts like this where you have certain channels that do certain things that are usually restricted in some way. With each channel sort of having or serving their own function. Usually, there's not a lot of duplicate channels just because chips are, you know, you can only put so much on a chip before it starts being a little cumbersome, and you're like, it's just music. But yeah, a lot of chips are going to have some sort of layout like this. Like the NES, of course, has a really similar layout, except this channel. I don't think it has sweep function, and this channel only plays triangles. Only
Triangles.
triangles. Only triangles. Uh,
Yeah.
there's some.
I,
Yeah.
I got a little question for you.
Yes.
If you haven't answered this already, but are there any specific chips you prefer to work for? Like making music for? If there are any specific chips you prefer to make music for?
Game Boy,
The
my
Game Boy chip,
beloved.
yeah.
Game Boy, my one true love.
Yeah. Are there any particular reasons why you love that one in particular to make music for that?
It's very small and wholesome. It's not terrible to work with. I already know all the basics and the fundamentals. I don't need to learn about anything else. I'm chilling. There's not a lot of channels to get like swept up into. It's very restrictive. Sort of allows me to kind of focus in on what I know I can do instead of getting swept up in all the things that I want to do. Because otherwise I will be lost in the sauce very quickly.
Yeah, super understandable. Sometimes the less tools you have, the easier it is to work with.
Yes, indeed. Modern trackers are actually going to have a layout, sort of like I drew here. You'll have all the channels sort of out like this. They'll usually have something above top here. I know for Milky Tracker, they show like the raw waves. That's pretty common. That like show what the waveforms actually look like when they're playing. Usually got a bunch of rows down here that'll allow you to sort of time things out, yada yada yada, all that good stuff. Now there are some interesting restrictions to the whole chiptune thing. When it comes to tempo, you don't get to freely choose a tempo for the most part. You sort of have to awkwardly kind of sandbag things a little bit with the timings, because the speed of which the chip will actually play the music is tied inherently to its internal clock speed, because that's the way computers work. The way they process information has to be some sort of the tempo has to be some sort of divide, even or otherwise, of the internal chips, the chip's internal clock speed, and that is also going to be something that differs from chip to chip. So you don't get to you don't get to very freely choose tempo unless you pull some black magic, or you do some very very questionable division in your free time as you awkwardly try to get the clock speed divided equally into whatever you need it to be. It's a bit of a nightmare, honestly. It's awful. I love it. It's awful.
Is this why? Is this why the old school games for like old school music for like the NES and the Sega Mega Drive, for example, is like slower on the PAL versions than on the NTSC versions?
Yes, it is actually. It's because their internal clock speeds are different. Uh,
Yay.
it's true. Because internal clock speeds differ from region to region because they have different standards. Chiptune gets sped up or slowed down depending on what region you're playing the game in. It's very interesting. A lot of people have like specific memories of songs that like just like get completely wiped off the face of the earth once you like move country. It's very interesting. So chiptune is a little finicky in the sort of in that area. It gets a little silly sometimes, and of course, with channel restrictions, it's kind of hard to get things to work sometimes. Just because of the way channels are restricted, like these two channels only play square waves. That's all they do. That kind of sucks. And a lot of similar chips have similar sorts of layouts. Each one of them will have their own set of restrictions that you have to get used to. So it's kind of like, you know, you kind of have to get back into the groove if you ever like change what sort of chip you want to make chiptune for, because the layout's going to be completely different every single time you change. It's going to be a whole nightmare. We got to learn because you know, uh there's this sort of, I guess, unspoken rule that you want to stay faithful to the specifications of the chip. Uh, Otherwise, it's fake bit and it's cringe and you're cringe.
Fake bit? Is that
Fake
some
bit.
poser nonsense?
It
What is that?
is. It is poser nonsense.
Oh no.
Uh, it's making chiptune outside the specifications of the current chip you're writing for.
What? How dare they?
Which is something you can technically do these days, but it's
Oh,
frowned upon.
I see.
We got a little question from chat here that is pretty good that ties into this topic a little bit. Individual
Yes.
is asking, so will no two ships sound the same?
No two chips sound the same. At least you know, obviously, you know, if they're the same brand for the same console, like, and they have the same specifications, yeah, they do sound the same. But if anything changes in any of those parameters, chip sounds different usually. Uh, it's why music from the Genesis and the Super Nintendo are so different. If you've ever heard a Super Nintendo and you've heard like a Sega Genesis or a Master System as well, you'll know they're incredibly different sounds, and that's because the chips are different. The the Genesis has this weird thing going on. Its chip was made by Yamaha and has this crazy FM synthesizer in it that produces a lot of the cool like metal guitar sounds that are really common on that console. While the Super Nintendo has its own thing going on. I believe it has better sample playback. So you get a little more of that with the Super Nintendo, and it's a little
Hmm.
strict. It's a little more faithful to the
Mhm.
OGs.
So
Oh,
you're talking about big influencers, but a little while ago we joked a little bit about the posers. I'm still curious, mostly because Zuko in chat says I dropped the com from composer. Maybe I should correct myself, say frowned upon composers, not posers. Let me know why they're considered posers, you would say, and why like Nintendo Versus has like made more strides, you know, like how you're saying. Tell me a bit more.
yeah. It's just sort of seen. It's sort of this social faux pas within the community, essentially,
Yeah,
because
why is it frowned upon?
there's not anything objectively wrong with making chiptune outside of the specifications of whatever chip you
Hmm.
claim to be uh you know, writing for. There's nothing technically wrong with it, but there's sort of this general sense of wanting to preserve the authenticity of the art
Ah,
form, uh sort of to not like muddy the waters of the
mhm,
actual history and the actual sound
of
of
course,
these important pieces of technology.
yes. So maybe you don't want to profiteer in a sort of negative light like that, but if you're just making music and having fun, I'm sure it wouldn't harm anyone.
Yeah, yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
Hmm.
It's not that
I
actually that
love,
big of a deal.
no worries. I was just curious. I still love that it's something that everyone can get into, and understanding the nuances around it too can be quite important.
Indeed.
I wanted to also highlight a question I think we missed. I
Yes.
think Roadkill Revenge said, Rena, have you heard of Pico 8? I've only looked at their music tools a bit, but it is also inspired by Game Boy chiptune composition? Question mark. What do you
I
think?
have heard of Pico 8, and I've heard the horror.
Ah,
I've heard the horror stories of people trying to get
oh,
into it, thinking that it's a normal,
uh-oh.
reasonable way of making music. So unfortunate for them.
Mm.
Yes, I believe that. I forget how many channels the Pico 8 player has. I don't remember. But it's wacky. Like, you can only make music out of sound effects. It's only got a certain amount of channels. It's very, very tracker like. As is most of Pico 8, since all of it's trying to emulate classic video game development. And just kind of make it a little more easy to deal with. So naturally, the chiptune
Yeah.
also streamlined in the sort of tracker format, which
Um,
I think is pretty cool.
but would you say Little Sound DJ is just more beginner friendly?
No.
Oh, well, where do we start then?
Little Sound DJ.
Oh, well, we can start there, but we'll still have a hard time, you're saying.
Yeah, it takes some getting used to, especially once you see the UI.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but
I
it's gonna
see.
look. It's actually going to look something like this, with the channels,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Oh yeah.
We're yeah.
The way trackers format songs these days, is you have isolated portions, so which will appear down here, and those portions will be segmented off into like a box up here or something that has all of these portions listed out, and this right here is the actual song. Uh, sort of think of it like making blocks of music. Like down here you make the blocks of music, and up here you stack the blocks however you want. Uh, if that makes any sort of general sense. And then I conveniently drew this in a nice place. Uh, the tracker will, depending on what you're doing, and what kind of tracker it is, it'll either export that to a file that can be played on the original console, or it'll just allow you to just play it in Engine, which is pretty common, and it will just play that out right there. Uh, there's a lot of ways, but that's the sort of general formatting of most, of most trackers. That's generally how
Yeah.
it works. Uh,
So, one question.
yes.
Trackers and shmump music examples, are they different? Are we in the same sphere right now? I'm just a tad confused, but still following.
Uh, like tracker music and video game music.
Remind me what a tracker is. Because I remember the little shmup music examples. They're on the left there, those cute little waves. Remind me again what trackers is, how it like relates, and you
Trackers
know.
trackers are a visual front end for the programming
Mm,
that goes into Chiptune,
okay.
generally speaking, or they're an emulation of whatever chip that you are working in.
Okay. Sounding more complicated. I hope I can keep up.
It's okay. It'll make a little more sense once we get to the examples, which I think we can get
Yeah.
into right now. I think we're done with all the busybody talk, and we can start making some music, and it'll start making a little
Oh
more sense.
my goodness. Yes.
All right, don't be too scared when I pull up the tracker. Ah! It's scary, I know. Welcome to Little Sound DJ, fellas. And let me stream over. There we go. Welcome to Little Sound DJ, fellas. I got my controller here. Uh,
Yes.
right now I have this running on a Game Boy emulator. This tracker runs in the Game Boy, so
Mm.
that's how you know it's always gonna be authentic, because
Oh,
it's running on a Game Boy.
gaming.
It's running on a
That's
Game
really
Boy.
clever.
Yeah,
That's really clever.
yeah,
I'm
it's
telling
great.
you, it's a game. It's a game.
It's true. Here you can see our 4 columns. This one's got a little bit of a weird layout. Uh,
Hmm.
you can see our little blocks here that we've constructed the music with. Uh,
Yeah.
you can see above here. We have the two square wave channels. Lovingly dubbed the pulse channels. Pulse 1 and Pulse 2. We have the wave channel, which plays waveforms, and then the noise channel, which plays noise.
Yes. I remember this from your grid.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. I have a question from chat for you.
Yes.
Does a lot of UI for Chiptune actually show the waveforms? That's what Indy asked.
Yes. Not in this tracker. But most of them do. It's just because this one's running on a Game Boy, so it's kind of hard to
Yes.
show the
Okay.
waveforms. But
That's okay.
yeah, most trackers do actually show the waveform that's coming out.
Mm, amazing. I love this intro. We're finally getting into the music. I'm so excited to like apply this knowledge, you know?
Right?
I just have to remind you, it's been about an hour into your stream. Maybe have some water, take a one big breath, because we still have a lot to come, right?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Yes, good.
Good.
Perfect. So we're gonna actually listen to some music, wake some people up who fell asleep in chat during the introduction.
Yeah.
If we have any Kurudin fans out there, or I guess just Kurudin fans out there, you'll get a kick out of this one. This is some hot remix zone. Though I doubt there's any actual Kurudin fans out there. Is that how I say it?
I
Kurudin?
mean,
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Oh,
Oh.
we have someone who plays Kurudin. Nice. Then you might recognize
Yeah.
this. It's you might recognize this. This song goes hard though. We'll just jam out for a little bit. See if it's audible. That'd be cool. You can listen to some delicious chiptune.
Yay!
The front instrument you can hear right here. That's a square wave. That's the one.
My goodness.
I can take this time to stretch a little bit. Because, oh man. That's enough chiptune for you today.
Oh my goodness. That was incredible.
It does sound great. I love this remix. It sounds great. It sounds wonderful.
Wait, but did you make this?
Yep. That's me.
You made this.
Yeah.
Original creation of you.
Yeah, so we can kind of see in here.
Wow.
We can kind of see in here. We can kind of see where these sort of stacking blocks comes from. Here we have just the notes in here, which they're usually displayed in some form like this. Most trackers I've been in will display, the note, whether it's sharp, and then the octave. Generally, that's the format of these notes. So this is G sharp 4.
Oh my gosh.
So it's G
cool.
sharp 4 octave, 4th octave, instrument 6. We'll get into this command line later. But
Yeah,
you can do
I'm
fun.
excited.
You can do fun things with the command line. But now it's gonna start coming together. You're like, oh, this is what everyone was talking about. Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Ah, it wasn't
Great.
nonsense.
It wasn't nonsense. At last, it comes together and is beautiful.
Yes.
Wow.
And here's that wave. Here's that wave channel. Specifically, I have this playing a sawtooth. Okay.
Nice.
Uh, as you can see, it sounds a little. It's a little crunchy. It's a little crunchy. Yeah, a little. It's a little
I
much.
like I like when my brain goes crunch.
And of course, here's the noise channel. Oh
Mm.
wow, if I can navigate there. You can see we make percussion with these. This is all just white noise. Just manipulated white noise. Which is what we'll actually get to first. Making our first chiptune song together. Everyone, we're gonna make a chiptune song together. We're gonna go over some stuff. We're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be wonderful.
So we get to listen to more chiptune, you mean?
Yeah, you bet you do.
Ah, that's
I
lovely.
All right, let's
It is so lovely.
we
Let me
start.
just actually read a comment or two before you start.
Go right
Metric
ahead.
Time just says that's so cool. Like, I think all of us are excited here in chat with what you've teased so far. Like, absolutely excited. And I have to say, P. Cole also said it's called a Game Boy, not Music Boy. So it's a game. It's a game. I'm
Oh no.
convinced. But I'm so excited to see what other songs you have here. Show us.
Well, I mean, do you guys just want to listen to more music?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Yes.
I guess we'll start making music a little later. Sure.
We
I'm
like
done.
both. It's your show, right? We're here to see anything you want to show us. We're following along with that whole history, the waves. I think I know a lot more about chiptune than I ever learned in my life. So whatever you want to show us, I'm so excited to be here, honestly. And all of chat
Sure.
is here. How are you doing, Splitfire? Or sorry, Fire Splitter. I said your name
Yeah,
backwards. It's
I'm
funny.
doing well. I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm also enjoying myself really, really much here.
Right. It's
Perfect.
so cool to see, honestly.
Yeah, it really, really is.
Love it.
All right.
But show us, yes.
I
What else
hope.
do you have?
I guess. I hope you guys. Well, I guess I should ask. Do you like
Hmm.
jazz?
There are very few genres of music I don't enjoy.
That's fair. I'm pretty much the same way. This isn't really jazz. You can hear those. You can hear these. That's the arpeggio. In case that's a classic chiptune arpeggio. In case you for some reason, you know, hadn't immediately.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that sound.
recognize it.
Yeah, that's the arpeggio. That sound. It's
I literally know scenes in Undertale where this just happened.
yeah, it's a very famous sound because it's really specific to chiptune.
This is Game Boy music right
It is.
here.
It is Game Boy music. It's playing off of a Game Boy right now.
Wow, that's fun. And
It
you
is.
customized it.
Oh yeah, this is all stuff I made.
Yes,
So we're chilling. And this is even
love
original
it.
music. We're out of the remix zone. We're into original music zone,
Love it here.
which is always nice. Delicious.
Vibing.
My favorite. We can listen to one more, sure.
Yeah, I really like that track.
I got great news about tracks if you like them. We'll get to at the end of the presentation. Let's see what other fun things. Should we? Oh,
I have a really important question for you right now.
yeah.
What is your favorite Game Boy game OST from Kitty?
My favorite
Yeah,
game
the Kitty.
OST of all time?
Mm-hmm. Important.
No, don't say that. It's so hard. Oh no.
Take your time to decide and let us know.
That's such a terrifying question.
You
I
can
hope
name a few. We won't judge.
Oh, let's see. I love Sonic Mania. T-Lopes is a god.
Sonic Mania. Good pick.
uh,
Respect.
of course,
Yeah.
Deltarune. Not even finished yet, but I adore Toby Fox,
Yes.
as I feel
Yeah.
like any good musician should.
Yes.
Uh,
Toby Fox was composing music straight out of high school, did Homestuck, and many other things. Like
yeah,
Pokemon.
it's
Like
true.
Pokemon.
Pokemon now.
Pokemon.
Let's see, what else could I put up there? Probably Tohu 8 and Perishable Night. Zun is also a god.
Toho 8!
Yeah.
Toho 8! Yes! Yes.
We're
Fully
gonna
agree with that.
hey, don't worry. Hey, listen. The Tohu rant isn't until next month. All right, we'll get there. You just gotta wait a whole month, and we'll be all good.
Oh,
I'm here for it, and I'm waiting.
I can't wait.
Oh, me either. But I definitely put his music up on there. You know, Zun is actually an OG chiptune artist himself. He's one of the more famous ones. His game started on the NEC PC 9801, and they were still using chiptune back then. So Tohu 1 through 5 is chiptune glory, and it sounds great. Dude's a legend.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, and he also has like very, very distinct art style in how he draws stuff.
That's one way to say it. Ooh.
How he draws. You have to bring up his drawings. We're here. We're talking about his music.
Yeah, no need to roast the man like this. He goes on a pedestal today.
We love all of it, though. Toho was like incredible. It inspired Undertale.
Oh man. A little more of this song, and we'll actually get to making some music. This is my most recent project. And whew, I'm so happy with how it came out, I'm gonna be real.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Alright, no more. We gotta make some music. We're on
Yes.
we're on time crunch here.
I was just like in a cave fighting the final boss, and you just took me out of there.
Yeah.
Let's make some music.
Let's make some music.
Very much not in support of crunch.
So we're
Hours.
gonna be learning some little sound DJ today. I won't go over the
Yay.
controls because you can find them in the manual, and it seems kind of boring going over controls. So
Necessary.
first we create our first block of the song in the noise channel. Go in, first phrase, put it in, and we're here. And now we can put down our first note. Nice. Our first order of things is to actually make an instrument. We got to make an instrument. So let's make sort of a bassy kind of sound. There we go. Right here, LSDJ allows you to adjust the envelope of the wave directly because it's really cool. We won't be messing with it too much. But, oh yeah, a thing to mention. Trackers work in hexadecimal. They work in 16-bit. So, numbers are not 1 through 9, they are 1 through F. As you can see, we got 0 through F, and that is our range of, that's our range of numbers that we have at our disposal. Just because computers cooperate with hexadecimal a lot better. They just think a lot better in hexadecimal. So for our envelope, our first digit here is how loud it is. F through 0, this is how loud it is. So we're just gonna chill on A. That's fine. And our second digit here is how long we want the note to hold out. So we can hold out for a while, or we can make a cute little hi-hat, or we can make it go on forever. Just give it no,
Forever.
or just give it no envelope. We're gonna make this sort of give it a little more, give it a little more sauce. Now we're going to change the shape here. Yeah, that's a bass drum right there.
Indeed, it is. It sounds like someone is like being punched to the ground.
There we go.
It's kind of like the sound like that is in like a lot of old video games. Like someone is like getting hit by something really, really hard, it's like flying backwards. That's kind of what that sound reminds me of.
Yeah. Let's make a hi-hat now, which we already kind of did. Yeah, we can make it shorter. There we go. You can see it. Nice. Let's turn down the let's turn down the where is it? Tempo. Let's turn that down a little bit. Thank you, us DJ, for allowing us to change the tempo and doing all the math for us. There we go. Let's get a sort of an accent note. Can make it a little louder.
So a quick question.
Yeah.
With this software, would it be easy to like? I know this is not a problem for the Game Boy because I know the Game Boy is used the same processor everywhere. But hypothetically speaking, could you like use that feature to like change the tempo that's like used here to change the tempo to like make it fit for a 50 Hz processor?
Repeat.
Like you could change the tempo on the song, right?
Yeah, on this specific tracker, because it's doing a lot of. It gets to do all the other end math for me. Thank goodness.
And that could be used like easily changed from 60 Hz to 50 Hz to like make it sound the same on a 50 Hz as on a 60 Hz.
Actually, just playing back the music on a different console or on the different Game Boy will do that for you.
Okay.
Just by taking like, because this also exports in ROM, I believe. You can export this in ROM, I believe. But if you were to just play this, if you were just make this song on like an NTSC machine and then play it on a PAL machine, yeah, just slow down on its own. Since that happens.
Game Boys didn't have that difference. I was asking like from a theoretical perspective, but you answered my question.
Yeah. I promise I know things. Trust me, bro. All right. So we have our bass drum. We have our hi-hat.
That's really, really nice to hear that it like would adapt to that on its own. That's actually really clever and really great.
Right? All right, we got a little beat. We got a beat going, guys. We got a beat going. Now I get to have fun.
Sounds so angry, but I'm ready.
Yeah.
Who did I upset? Why are they coming at me with this energy? This is like a forced encounter type situation.
There we go. We're having some fun.
Oh wow, it's coming together more too.
Yeah, now we can just choose what instrument we want played on any of these notes here.
How many phrases can a song have?
Well, there's 16 phrases in a chain, and there is a possibility for a lot of chains. Oh, look how many chains you can put down.
That's quite a few chains, actually, yeah.
So yeah, that many. There's a lot of freedom, thankfully. There's no limit on how long you can make the song, basically. I've never reached that. I've never even had to scroll down that much, honestly. And we can just keep this going. the great part about this is that phrase 00 will always refer to this little chunk here. So if we want to repeat this chunk, we just place down the same phrase again. Ta-da! So we got four, I guess, 4 bars of a drum laid down. So let's not mess with the wave function yet. Let's just go into the square waves, have some fun. One thing I like to do is get the FE as my sort of empty phrase, so I can just kind of delay for a little bit. Da-da. And phrase 1. Since phrase 00 will always refer to this chunk of noise text, we need to go to a different phrase over here. We'll use 001. And now we get to make a different kind of instrument, one that actually sounds good. Let's go.
Nice.
All right. So with pulse instruments, of course, they're all square waves. We have the same sort of options. We can also change how bigly or smallly the square waves are. As you can see, it's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that one. That should work. That should be fine. We don't need to mess with it too much. A lot of times, I'll honestly just screwing around with the settings, not even knowing what they do, just screwing around with the settings can get you a fun instrument. Even if you have no idea what you're doing, just playing around with the settings and going crazy.
I love that it's all just trial and error, work in progress, listening to what you create and thinking, did that work? Maybe I should do it like this, seeing what that sounds. You know, it sounds like a really fun process.
Oh, yeah, it is. And just wait till we get to the table.
The table?
Oh, yeah.
So what made you get into chiptune music in the first place?
Well, it was really cheap. It was really cheap. It was because I grew up on a lot of those classic video games. I grew up on a PS1. But I got a lot of like classic game collections because my family used to actually be not so well off. And as such, the sort of cheaper options were always the way to go. My PlayStation was a hand-me-down from my parents. So I kind of ended up getting a very classically oriented a sort of experience as a child. So I got a lot of that old chiptune in my brain, and I really latched on to it. And because it was so easy to make, or I guess not easy to make, but cheap to make, because a lot of tracking programs are really free, and the only thing really stopping you is the learning curve. It was an easy way for me to start making music that I loved without having to get a formal education.
Okay. Are there any composers that you are feeling heavily inspired by in your work?
Oh man. Of course, Sonic the Hedgehog, my beloved. I love you, Genesis. I can't compose on you. I don't know how to do FM synthesis synth stuff.
You are doing amazing. And I have news for you, Rena.
Yeah.
I wrote a rap. I'm gonna rap to your chiptune that you make, okay? Please let me do it before the end of the stream.
I will let you.
It will be the perfect send-off.
Absolutely.
Tell me more about this beat you're making. What are you trying to do here?
Oh, we're just throwing some notes down. We're playing around with the instruments, sort of getting a feel for the program, because it looks very scary if someone doesn't tell you what's going on. But I promise it's not that scary. I promise. So you can just throw down some notes. Doink, doink.
Do.
All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see if anyone in chat may recognize what we have potentially done here. We got any. Come on, boys! Yeah. See, it's really easy to make them. It's really easy to make music in trackers. We've made
Like it.
we've made like 4 total instruments, and we're already jamming out. Like them good old days. And we can continue. Since over here we have the transpose column, which we're gonna get some use out of. You can shift down the notes by how many ever beats or however many tones you want. So, how does this sound? That works fine. Nope, it needs to be. Nope, my brain won't let me.
Some iconic sounds here.
There we go.
Yeah.
We hit it. There we go.
Nice.
We can just keep adding that percussion, keep it going. Now that the joke is over, let's put something in, let's put something over here. Let's see if we can get some input. Let's see. This oh, nice. This is actually free. Is this free? Oh, wow. Okay, we can just use, we can use phrase 2. All right, cool. So, what do you think we should put over our, Mario, huh? What sort of tunes are we thinking? Do we want a new instrument?
I'm liking the moon theme from DuckTales. I
Oh,
think that feel.
you want to put the moon theme over?
Yeah.
All right, all right. Let me think about that goes.
Or something, I don't know how it went.
Do we want a new instrument?
I don't know.
Sure, let's make a new instrument. Ta-da. Let's see here. Yeah, let's make a new instrument. How should this one sound? We can have this one cut through a bit. We can have this one be a little, we can have this one being plucky. Sure, we'll have this one be a little plucky.
So how long did it take you to when you started out with Chiptune? How
Yes.
long did it take you to learn to actually make your own first song, your own first track that you are considering a full complete track? You know what I mean?
Honestly, it didn't take too long. Once I got the controls and stuff, once I learned well, it was where to get my instruments since I was working in Milky Tracker at the time, and I did not want to use my own homemade instruments because making instruments in that program is a lot harder. But once I got my instruments, it really didn't take that long. It was pretty chill. Once you get the hang of the controls, you can kind of just let the freak flag fly, if I may.
Yeah.
Now, how do I?
So were there any specific were there like any specific parts that were a little bit difficult for you to learn as you delved into chiptune music? If there was like something that was like a little bit rougher to learn for you that you felt like took a while to like get right that you are like super proud now after you learned that you actually learned?
It's this channel over here, the command channel, or the effect channel. Really, it depends. We will get a little bit into the effect channel. We don't have to crazily for Chiptune 101. It's a pretty advanced tool to use. But using this command channel, there's all sorts of effects we can do. We can there, of course, they don't have like there's no way to label what effects are what, but all of these different letters are different effects that you can do. C is the chord or arpeggio effect, I'm pretty sure. With W, you can change the waveform of the note, and B is volume, I'm pretty sure. I think. Don't ask, because I don't have the manual on hand. Normally I... Ah, there we go. P is pitch
You
bend.
don't need a manual.
You
got
you
this.
can pitch bend with P. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with the command channel. We won't be doing too much with it because it's a pretty wacky place to be just starting out chiptune. You don't need it. It's something you start getting into once you get a little more accustomed to just making stuff. So there we go. We're getting places.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ayo.
Nice.
How we're gonna put this over Mario though is that's gonna be
That's a good
interesting.
question.
A very interesting suggestion. Does it just work? Actually, does it work? Does the mashup work? We're gonna find out. It kind of does.
Miss Rena.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I also need to know how fast this goes because I already committed to do a little rap to it. So
We got the
I'm ready.
mashup. I see.
Yeah.
And cause we're doing it, we can screw away around with the wave channel for a little bit.
So while we're here and you gave us a little sample of this, let me read some things from chat. P. Cole said, volume, 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 the best speed run game. Everyone's excited to hear this, by the way. Rosie Chu says, the sound gave me a little Mega Man vibes.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Do you hear Mega Man in there too?
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
But this is all original by Rena. So that's who it really is. BunniestBunRena, is that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Would you say you have a unique style, by the way, as an artist with your chiptune?
I guess you could say that. I mean, if you asked me
Awesome.
to identify it, I couldn't tell you because it's all I know. But
I didn't ask you to identify, but would you say you have that flavor that's just Rena only in your music, you know?
Yeah, sure. I guess I'll say that
Okay.
haphazardly without any basis.
Yeah.
That's good. Your music is awesome here.
And let's see. How long do we want this note to go? We're actually going to use the I think we're going to use the kill note function of the effect. This allows us to just stop the note after a certain amount of frames or ticks.
That's interesting.
So you can stop it arbitrarily. Nope, not long enough. Not long enough.
Cat is using the bunny command right now.
Sure, that'll work. Put some, put a little something underneath it all.
Okay. Okay.
This is cursed. I love it.
I'm still committing. This is great.
And then the
Mario beats.
bass changes.
This is incredible because you're showing us in live time how to make our own unique creations.
Yeah.
Whatever you make for us here, we know it's just off the fly, right? But spending more time learning more about the program can probably give you like limitless possibilities with what you can make.
Let's see. What do we want to do here with the bass?
Picole says we need some shmup music in here. I'm still new to saying this word, by the way, so I'm sorry. Shmup music.
Shmup music. I mean,
Rosie
I'm trying to
says,
think.
now I want to dance.
Let's see. Let's see how this bass sounds. Let's crossing fingers. It sounds good.
It sounds good, I think.
Yes.
That's weird.
Don't say it's weird. I love it. It's amazing. You made this in like 2 seconds. This is cool.
I love it.
Play it one more time for me. I'm still getting the feel.
Let's do something like this.
Hmm.
And then do something like this.
I love how you're just going. Like you're like, no, yes, this is what I need. And you're just getting it done. I love it.
We don't need these, technically, I don't think. No, we do. I'm silly. I'm a silly brain.
No, you're working. We see it. Putting it all together for us.
Cool.
We really appreciate.
As you can see, I'm just placing down the same phrase a bunch. I'm being lazy, which honestly is the best trait to have. If you can just pitch shift your stuff, don't take up more phrases than you need to, right?
Listen, if I learned anything from Sans Undertale, it's not laziness. It's efficiency.
Thank you. It actually is efficiency in this case.
Exactly.
You want to take up as since we're just kind of creating a beat, kind of chilling out. There's a lot of repeated stuff that just shifts down a few tones, so we can kind of just do that. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Let's see how this sounds. Okay. I think we should change up, would be kind of cool if we changed up this, right here. These two phrases. Do something fun with them. Let's see, now we're just making music, as you can see. Now that we've got some instruments, we've got some ideas, it's just time to make instruments. It's time to chill. Yeah, let's see what chord fits there. Oh, that'll be cute. Oh, we gotta hear this. That's gonna be cute. Oh. 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 Oh.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I can totally do this, by the way. The
And
beat is
then.
like, it's not so fast. It's starting to sound amazing.
And
I know
then.
you're still tuning, but it's coming together.
Yeah. All right. We're making some music out here. We're
Just
having
to
some fun with
know,
it.
Rena, your
Yes.
perspective, right? Because on our end, it's a lot of numbers and you're smiling and we're hearing this great music. But for those maybe who aren't understanding, can you let us know a bit of your timeline, your process here? Is the song almost done? Because
I
it
mean,
sounds like
I guess.
actual music.
Yeah. I mean, if we're just making a beat here to rap over, yeah. I mean, we can just keep
Wow,
this going. All these
it's so good.
numbers look very confusing. But once you know
Mm-hmm.
what they mean, this is just
Yes.
instrument 3. This is not a scary number.
Mm.
It's an instrument. All
Ah,
these, all these numbers. What are these numbers over here? What's FE? What number is that? Oh, that's just the phrase that's empty. It's just empty space, so it can chill. And all these are just,
mm.
I mean, all of these are just bars of music. They're just labeled with numbers. All of these things
Yeah.
are just normal music concepts that are just labeled with numbers. And once you get your head around that, it becomes a lot more normal. And
Yes.
it's
I love what we're making here.
once you
Yeah.
get into the actual phrases, it starts to make a little more sense. Like these are all just notes. They're labeled like notes
Mhm.
are, you know.
Yes. And math was always a part of music, right? As Pickle is saying in chat. I also want to let you know, not to step on your artistic toes at all, since this is starting to become a collab, even chat is starting to join in. It seems Kitty is saying, I think maybe lowering the percussion slightly might help, but it's already so good.
Lower
So if you
percussion.
wanted to, yeah, look
All
into
right.
that, that's
Oh,
what Kitty
it's
said.
pretty easy actually. We can go into the
Hmm.
instruments and just turn them down.
Oh, that's simple.
Yep. As I went over earlier, this first digit here is the volume
Hmm.
or our starting volume. So we can just turn down all the instruments a little bit. There we go.
Is this so fun?
And now it's a little snappier too. Have fun. You guys want to put an arpeggio at the end of here, like as a funny joke? We're gonna use the effect channel again. Don't get too scared. You can.
Seems like the winning wave is Greg, who is decided by chat to
Oh,
be the best wave.
can we also put it at the end? Yes, right there. That's funny.
Let me see if I can fiddle this. Is this it? We actually might want to make a new instrument for this. Make it ring out a little more. Da-da-da. Make this like this. How does it sound? Oh, do you want to make it, there's this second digit here that I'm manipulating. This is how long. So we can make this, ring out a little more. Not too long. Fiddling around. There we go. That sounds nice.
Yeah, it
So
does.
you're repeating it. You're not putting it at the end.
Well, I'm repeating it in here because this is just the playback for the phrase. If we get out
Oh,
here, it'll be
whole thing.
yeah, it'll be a little
You're just in a section right now, right?
yeah. And now we're
Oh,
now we're back. We're backing up.
okay. Nice.
Oh wow. Are these also using instrument 4? Am I silly? They are also using instrument 4. I did noopsie. That's okay. We can change. Make these all instrument 5.
Yeah.
So no worries, everyone makes these mistakes, even me. And we will. These are not wave instruments. These are not wave instruments. How's that sound?
That's really, really good.
We love to see that. I want to turn that down a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh no, the effect stopped for some reason. Sad.
Yeah.
Dang, that glitch was awesome. Alright. And now, want to be extra lazy.
It's not called being lazy, it's called being efficient.
We can actually, yeah, we can see this is 0. We're gonna... No, actually we can't. Instead of writing that all again, we're just gonna copy and paste so we can get the beat going. Boink. Copy and 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Just copy that, paste that. Since we just don't want this intro, this nothing intro. Boink. So we'll just copy all our stuff from the other chains. Boink. And we'll just silly to copy and paste a bunch of zeros, but yeah. And now this thing's gonna loop for a little bit. And we can keep this thing going for a hot minute.
Nice.
And then we can even go crazy. Now this thing's gonna go on forever. Now we can just chill and marvel at our creation. Oh, beautiful. The
That's
mashup.
really, really good.
The mashup of the century.
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh, yep. I have to redo the transpositions. That's right. I forgore.
This is amazing.
That's 4, 5, 6, and 7.
While you're working on this in the background, I want you and chat, Spire, I keep saying your name like together in one word. Firesplitter. Everyone here, I just want to ramp up the energy because, listen, I was practicing the rap while muted. It sounded pretty nice. I have to say.
Hey!
So,
All right.
I'm really excited
That
for
should be good.
how it comes all together because this is fire. This beat is amazing.
There we go.
And you made this in 2 seconds.
Yeah, think of all the wonderful things you could make. We didn't even screw around much with the command.
No, not very long at all.
We didn't
here.
screw around with the tables, which are really useful and very good, but we can't get into them with Chiptune 101.
You literally showed us today how to use Little Sound DJ.
Yeah.
And it's a
Yeah.
really cool. All of us can even try this ourselves. I'm so inspired.
I would
This is
highly
incredible.
recommend it. In LSDJ, it's really easy to make instruments like this. It's a really simple menu like this. Of course, the left digit is the left digit is the volume, and the right digit is the length. We haven't even screwed around with the rest of the envelope settings or anything.
What you made here is great. I have to say, you could even wrap up the song here because my rap is a little shorter even. your song is fully fledged right now.
Sure,
if
and I
anything.
believe we are coming to the end of our time for Chiptune 101.
Take the time you need, finish off this song for us. We'll send them off with a beautiful composition of all of us together
Yeah.
creating this. And hopefully it's a good start for a lot of people. Try
Yeah.
out Chiptune. This was your 101 class.
It's
Get
true.
started.
Come on
Yeah.
over to the club.
This was so fun. And I'm excited to see like the final products right here.
All right, are you ready
Yeah.
to rap?
And don't forget to put being on the stream today at your resume when you are
Of
looking for
course.
jobs in the future.
Yeah, are you ready to rap, my friend?
I'm ready. So my disclaimer is I'm not a rapper. I don't sing. I'm a multimedia artist. I'm a makeup artist. I do brow styling. Like I do a lot of things, but I was so inspired by this entire showcase today. I wrote myself a 2-second rap and we're gonna do this. You play, I will go.
Oh yeah, get that beat started, boy. Absolute fire.
Lady Arcade is gonna make a beat. All of you should start. There's no reason to compete. Just make your jams if you've been pressured or to heat. Your music should be heard, but this ain't no easy feat. I'm sure you love to grind your body to the beat. With all of us, any boss we can defeat. Thank you for coming. Your participation was a treat. With your combined power, it's ultimately elite. So I messed up the timing a bit, but I think you get the message.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
That was really great.
This song was incredible. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all for coming.
Rena,
It's been wonderful.
Fire. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rena, for doing this, Professor Bun.
Of course.
Yes.
Test on Friday. I'll be expecting your submissions. But
Excited to see more from you, Rena. Thank you so much for showing us this.
of course.
Incredible.
Anyways, we can sort of wrap things up here. I'll play some more music. Let's
Play us some of your music on the way out. Like we want to see
Yeah.
what you usually create.
let me
The Rena style, as I was saying before.
let me save this one.
Yes.
Important. Lady. You guys are now lady.
Lady.
Nice.
It's lady time at Lady Arcaders. Doing lady things with magical woman, envies, all alike, all welcome. Thanks so much, everyone, for coming.
Absolutely.
Lovely to have you all here tonight.
Good vibes.
Of course, I'll play myself out on this one. I'm bodaciously Kamek on Bandcamp. I make music.
Bandcamp?
I sell music.
Professional. Love this.
It's true. There's a new EP that's gonna be coming out soon. Once winter break kicks in, I can actually finish it. You're hearing some music from it right now. That'll be out soon. But I already have a bunch of music on there as well. A nice mix of remixes and original work. You can find me there as Bodaciously Kamek, the one and the only. If you're interested in listening to some of my stuff, that's where it is. You can buy it. And not only that, you can also find me on streaming services under the exact same name. I'm on iTunes, I'm on Apple Music, I'm on Spotify, I'm pretty sure. I'm on SoundCloud. I'm everywhere, baby. You can't stop me. I'm posting my music to your platform. Of course, it's appreciated if you go to Bandcamp. That way you can actually support me financially if you want to. If you so desire, I get the most money from there, and I usually post my highest quality uploads there, along with some exclusive editions of certain songs. It's something to consider, and all that wonderful stuff. And all that aside, I also stream, though that seems not really important right now, but I also do that. Sometimes I stream music making.
I'm
Question
gonna come
mark.
follow you. That sounds amazing.
You can
I'm
find
here for it.
you can find me on Twitch as BunniestBunRena. So that's always cool. But aside from that, that's been me. If you want to check out some other chiptune artists, let me get the list. while you're on Bandcamp, you can check out 8-Bit Weapon. Makes some fantastic music, and also the best name I've ever heard in my life. A lot of the chiptune scene is overseas, over in Nordic countries actually. And to kind of shout that out a little bit, you can go check out Kommissar, Kommisar. They make a bunch of cool Touhou remixes, just in case you hadn't had enough of that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's true. They make
I
Touhou.
never have enough of Toho.
Oh, then I got great news. Speaking of Touhou, here's some Touhou. Alongside that, you can also check out Hertz Devil, who also makes some cool remixes in the style of Mega Man. So if you like Mega Man music, that's their jam. They're super cool. They're super fun. And that aside, I think that's it. I'll see you in December, where the ranting gets even worse. And if you thought the blackboard was looking a little crowded, oh boy, you have no idea what the Unhinged rants get up to.
He's saying the blackboard will be filled with more drawings next time. I'm only excited.
Yeah, it will.
Thank you so much, Rena, for all of this, for teaching us chiptune, showing us your music, even making us a fully fledged song. Like, I have to message you after for like recording in the studio because, you know, we could do it.
Yeah.
Yes. Make sure you follow Rena on her socials. Make sure you follow her on SoundCloud. Make sure you uplift this artist because what they're doing here is incredible. She's just on fire. Her music's on fire. Like, everything she makes is apparently amazing. So check her out. This is so cool. We'll be ending the showcase here. If you want to let the song play out, like, I'm having a jam. I'm sure chat is enjoying it.
I like
this
Touhou.
is like, yes. You know, Toby Fox made like a lot of songs off of like the Touhou, like,
Yep.
I don't know the music term for it, but they said like
Samples.
samples, yeah. Very inspirational.
That's me. I'm out. Thanks for chilling.
Thank you. Love this song. We can fade it out and we'll just do a little intro. But thank you again, everyone, for coming. Yes, hype energy. Go follow Rena. She streams too. I think that's very important. Go connect with her. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. This has been a Lady Arcaders showcase. We're so happy to have you, honestly. That was BunniestBunRena. We're so happy to have her. Music has come to a close and so has our showcase, but I want you all to stick around. We're going to be rating someone, okay? So keep that energy. Stay in your seats. Keep following Rena and follow all her socials. She's doing incredible work here, and we want to see more of it. We'll have more Rena in the future. We'll have more Lady Arcaders in the future. We're all women's gaming collective, and we uplift and help inspire and just showcase our wonderful art and talent on Twitch and the gaming community here. So we welcome everyone, and thank you all for coming, and hope you all have wonderful nights. Take care, and we'll go off to our raid.